Imagine standing in a crowded city square, the air thick with tension, as the heavy silence is broken by the crack of a whip or the slow creak of a wooden press. In the height of the British Empire, justice wasn't just about law. It was a visceral, public display of absolute power designed to break both the body and the spirit. The British Empire is often remembered for its vast reach and industrial progress, but beneath the surface lay a legal system of terrifying efficiency. Known as the Bloody Code, this framework governed millions with a simple philosophy: control through extreme fear. From the 18th to the early 19th centuries, over 200 crimes, some as trivial as stealing a loaf of bread, carried the ultimate price. In this exploration, we go behind the curtain of imperial order to uncover the most disturbing punishment methods ever sanctioned by the crown. We will examine how the law used creativity to inflict pain, how public spectacles were used to dehumanize the condemned, and how these brutal practices shaped the history of modern justice. The foundation of this system was the belief that the greatest happiness of the greatest number required the absolute removal of those who threatened social order. Critics like William Wilberforce fought against the morality of these laws, but for decades the empire insisted that severity was the only deterrent. This harshness wasn't limited to London. It was exported to every corner of the colonies, often with added layers of cruelty to maintain control over native populations. Perhaps the most infamous tool of corporal punishment was the cat-o'-nine-tails. Used heavily in the Royal Navy and penal colonies like Australia, this whip consisted of 9 knotted cords designed to shred skin without immediately killing the victim. Flogging was a public ritual. Sailors and convicts were forced to watch their peers endure dozens, sometimes hundreds of lashes. Medical officers often stood by, not to provide mercy, but to ensure the victim remained conscious long enough to receive the full count of their sentence. Execution was a spectator sport. Thousands would gather in marketplaces to watch justice on display. The condemned were paraded through streets in shackles, listening to a clergyman read their sins before the drop. Before the 19th century invention of the long drop, which snapped the neck, most victims died of slow, agonizing strangulation. While intended to enforce order, these events often backfired, turning criminals like the escape artist Jack Shepherd into folk heroes and fostering a culture of public desensitization. For soldiers, the punishment was more clinical but equally humiliating. Reserved for desertion, mutiny, or cowardice, the firing squad was a methodical execution. To shield the executioners from guilt, one rifle was loaded with a blank. Tragically, during the chaos of World War I, many men executed by their own comrades were likely suffering from what we now recognize as PTSD, yet the military prioritized rigid discipline over psychological understanding. While the rack was famous for stretching bodies, the Scavenger's daughter did the opposite. Found in the Tower of London, this iron framework forced the victim into a tight, kneeling ball. As the screws tightened, the body was compressed inward, crushing ribs and causing internal hemorrhaging. Unlike public hangings, this was a private horror, used to extract confessions through a level of agony that left few survivors. Reserved for high treason, this was the empire's most barbaric statement. The victim was dragged to the site, hanged until nearly dead, and then, while still conscious, subjected to dismemberment. The body was divided into 4 parts, often displayed at city gates as a grisly warning of the crown's absolute authority over the physical body. When the empire chose not to kill, it chose to discard. Between the 17th and 19th centuries, thousands were transported to America and Australia. The journey was a death sentence in its own right. Convicts were packed in diseased, overcrowded ships where mortality rates often reached 25%. Those who survived were auctioned as forced labor, building the infrastructure of the very empire that had rejected them. The history of the British Empire's justice system is a dark reflection of how far a society will go to preserve power. These methods were not just about punishing crime, they were about defining the boundaries of human endurance. What do you think is the most shocking aspect of the Bloody Code? Could any society justify such measures in the name of order? Share your thoughts on this dark chapter of history in the comments below. If you found this detailed look into the past insightful, please support this work by liking the video and subscribing for more in-depth historical documentaries. History is a mirror. Let's keep looking into it together.